Hey guys, this is Matt. I'm gonna be trying a new kind of video here, so just bear with me. Um, I've been seeing people do MST did why GeoPro or DevPro makes you a bad player, and then Team APS did kind of like a similar thing, like does it make you a bad player? And I just kind of wanted to do like a rebuttal video to that, because there's just a couple things each channel said, and total respect to everybody, not saying hating on anybody, but it was just funny to watch the MST video, and right off the bat he says, oh, not to hate on DevPro, and then he seemed to just kind of give his opinion where he doesn't like DevPro. So I mean, it's okay, man. Like, it's cool, right? Your preference for solitaring on Yu-Gi-Oh, right, was on DN, but like you don't gotta be like jealous and hating on like the Dev Pro that's remaining, cause and then I kind of got that same kind of vibe from the Team APS channel maybe too, like um but just like what was it? There's like he's Tombox is talking about like the invisible coach, and like the timer gives the set cards you have or something away to the opponent, and like I just feel that's kind of silly to not expect those cards to begin with. Like if they have two or three set cards on the field, I'm assuming it's Solemn Strike, Twin Twister, and then Warning, like, or Vanities, right? Like, uh, right? It just made no sense to me to not assume that they would have the cards to stop you, because for me, I have no fear. I just go all in regardless, and if I get stopped enough and I don't have anything more, then I'm dead. So, but whatever. But just right. Right, it was just to me, right? Like I understand, but I have to share, like there was a situation where I was playing on DevPro, and I was playing Dark Worlds because I was just like screwing around, and I had the Dark World field, and then I had one set card. I think it was Breakthrough Skill or something, and then the other guy had one set card, and because of the timer, I thought the card was an MST. Like every time I set, or like he had no monster cards on his field and I had no monster cards on my field, and the turn ended and it like waited for him. So I thought he had an MST or Twin Twisters. So I was like scared to play any more back rows. I think I had the Virus card that I was gonna set, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play it, he'll kill it. But then it was the strangest thing ever, so I was like trying to play around what I thought was an MST, and then I summoned Tour Guide, got Brow out of the deck, bounced the Brow for Grapha out of the graveyard, and then my Grapha got hit by his face down card, which was Bottomless Trap Hole. And I was just like, oh my god, like, like, I read it wrong for some reason, somehow, and then I ended up dying because of that. So it was just like, whoa, you know, maybe I'm just a bad player, but it was just like, whatever, it just goes to show you, even when you assume, you can't always be right anyways. And then what was it? And then like I get what he's kind of saying by the invisible coach, but you need to have some type of guideline, because like when I played DN a long time ago, like when Infinity like first became like relevant, and I can't even stress how many times on the first turn the dude drops Cyber Dragon and then instant fusion or something, and then they make Nova, and with no cards inside the graveyard, they detach and special a Cyber Dragon. And it's just like, you can't do that. And they're just like, oh, well, too late. Like, no, like, and then that's basically it. Like, they just don't give a shit. And then, so that was enough for me. Like, right, that's exactly it. There needs to be some type of guideline, because even if there is a guideline, the invisible coach or the guideline isn't going to teach you the correct order of how to do things. Like, I was playing on DevPro. I forget what deck I was playing, but the other guy was playing Cosmo, and it was this craziest thing I'd ever seen. Like, this is why you don't net deck people. First turn, the first thing he does is sets a card, which already threw me off, and then he activates Cosmo Town, shuffles in something, gets back, summons Farm Girl. He only has one card in his hand, or two cards in his hand, and then immediately, still in his main phase, he banishes it from the field. And then, right, like, he's literally just clicking on everything to fucking do it, and then his monster's gone, and then he rage quits. So, like, right, you're almost hating on the program too much, because, well, right, there's a restriction. You can still mess it up, right? And, like, they're talking about, like, chaining Max C's, or forgetting to chaining Max C's and Veilers and stuff, but, right, that you could be sitting there waiting for them to make a play, and then waiting to Max C them, and then they just don't make that play. So, right, it's not like you forgot, it's just you didn't want to. So, right, things like that. And then, right, there's just, I had a game, I gotta tell you this was really funny. I just played a guy. He didn't have a deck, so I let him borrow my Cyber Dragons, and he actually knows how to play the deck. So, I just, like, let him go. He wanted to go first or something. I made him go first, I can't remember. And then he opened up with Core and Machine Duplication, so he's good to go. And then after I looked at my hand and I had Max C, so just, I was stupid. Like, so, right, like, again, so even though the game can tell you what to do, you can still mess it up. And just, like, accessibility, like, where I'm from up north, like, by Alaska. Like, I'm 3 hours away from the Alaska border into, like, the interior of Canada. Like, so, right, like, for me, somebody like me that likes the game, it is actually difficult to even obtain the cards in the first place. So, people like me, right, where we just have very minimal access to the cards and to the game, we need something where, right, we can just, test wherever we want, because, right, if we already live in the middle of nowhere, why am I going to spend $100 or something on a deck that I might not even like? Right? It's just, it's a multitude of things that you need to think about deeper, right? You gotta read between the lines. And just, right, like, rage quitting, right, one thing Paul from APS said, or Calvin, they kind of both said it, they're like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro makes rage quitting acceptable, and, like, are you kidding? You've never had somebody rage quit on you on Dueling Network. Never. You've never, right? Nobody's never rage quit on Dueling Network? Bro, you've got to have mad skills then. Like, or you just have to have Team APS in your name so that they just don't rage quit. Like, people are presume far too much, like, I feel. And, like, right, that's not to hate on anybody or you guys that are watching, but just, right, like, we just jump to conclusions far too much. Like, one thing it's a really bad example, but, like, you could say, like, oh, I killed a dog, and then these people will freak out, like, oh my god, animal murderer, blah blah blah, but it's just like, I didn't finish the rest of my sentence, and it's like, oh, I killed a dog with my truck. Oops. Like, right? Like, I literally have to explain every single blank to you. You can't just, you always assume the worst. So, right, like, we all just kind of need to, like, chill and simmer down. Like, because, right, we don't want to all hate on DevPro, and then all of a sudden the guys that are doing DevPro watch all these videos and go, oh man, this sucks. Like, right, these guys don't like my thing. You know, I put all this time into it, and it sucks, and people don't like it. And then, right, then they just stop. Because, right, there's got to be something. Like, now that DN is gone, there has to be something. Because imagine if there was no DevPro either. Like, what would you test Junichi on then? Like, so, like, yeah, guys, come on. Like, we just need to be more grateful and appreciative. And, right, hopefully, right, Konami will respond. But yeah, like, you know, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day.